Come on. Okay, my Facebook members, I am live. So we had some technical issues, of course, and our streaming platform was not streaming into Facebook. So I had to quickly disconnect and come back on to reconnect into Facebook again and invite our guest speaker from Timeline Genius to come on to do the presentation. So while waiting for her to come on, she's actually on Instagram. If you want to not miss the action, there you go. Now I see people coming on. Yes. Okay. So you may want to put down the volume. All right. For your phone. Okay. So if you're joining me on Facebook, oh, here you go. All right. So if you're joining me on Facebook, please drop me a comment so that I know that you can see me and I know that you're here with me. So for those of you, again, you missed the intro. If you do not know me, my name is Mayo Silvers. I am the owner of M2 Hospitality, an event planning company, and also the founder, event mentor, and coach for Events for Anyone, where we provide a mentorship program called the Unstoppable Eventrepreneur, where we help event planners like you to start and grow your event planning company into a six-figure profit business. Hey, Jacqueline, thank you for joining me on Facebook. Hi, Jackie, thank you for joining me on Facebook. Hi, Stephanie. Okay, I don't know whether you missed the whole action that I couldn't get on. The streaming platform just crashed on me. So, but I'm here now. So my Instagram followers, thank you so much for your patience. It's a good thing I start early today. So thank you for joining me on Instagram. As you can see, I have a split screen. I have Brooke, who is from Timeline Genius, who is here with me, who's going to talk a little bit about this software that has been a lifesaver for many, many event planners. So I wish that they exist like 9 years ago when I was like up in my weeds trying to create timeline. So for those my Instagram followers who's watching me on Instagram, I want you to know that you today Brooke will be sharing her screen. So, Instagram, I don't know why they're still not letting us do a screen share. So you only get to see us. You can't see your screen. You can see Brooke's screen where she's going to do a demo. If you want to see a demo, please make sure you click the link in my bio to join my Facebook group. If Christine or Stephanie can keep an eye out on the member requests, just accept them in, please. Then they can watch this session live, okay? So, all right, so without further ado, I'm going to introduce Brooke from Timeline Genius to come on and do a presentation. So here you go, add you to the stream. Then, hi. Okay, there you go. All right, Brooke, tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and you know what? Let me just take away the screen first. We want to see your pretty face.
Oh, you're too sweet.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Brooke Bowen-Schulte with Timeline Genius, and I am here today to tell you more about timelines. Let me, actually, my screen's not up, is it?
Yo, no, not yet, because I haven't put it in right here. So there you go.
I am getting a feedback from this Instagram, and so I might have to turn that sound off. I don't know if that kicks me out, though.
Okay. So Alex, I'll get approved. Okay, Stephanie, can you do me a favor? Alex from Timeline Genius just joined our Facebook group because she wants to be able to watch it on Facebook. Can you just allow accept her request to join, because I can't do it right now. I am on Instagram. I can go to Facebook to accept her. Christine or Stephanie, please accept Alex to come into our Facebook group so she can join us. So hi, my Facebook members. If you are joining me, if you want me to see your name so I can address you when you have questions, click on the link to allow StreamYard to see your name. If not, then you just put your name and then just put your question. Either way is fine with me. So, okay. All right, so Instagram followers, again, if you want to watch the presentation on screen, please join the Facebook group by clicking the link in my bio so you can see the screen share. If not, you will just hear Alex, and I will, if you have a question, I'm going to read it. All right? So, okay, Alex, sorry. All right, Brooke, so take it away.
Okay, I think I'm back. hopefully that doesn't go back down. So yes, I'm Brooke. I am with Timeline Genius, and I'm the account development manager here, where I talk to wedding planners and wedding professionals about how they can utilize timelines to elevate their brand and ultimately save them a ton of time and ultimately save them a ton of time and just work better collaborating with their clients. So May, do they see my screen right now? Can I get rolling on that?
Yes, they can see your screen on Facebook and on Instagram. You're not here with me. If you want to do the request, we can. The
Instagram keeps giving me a feedback.
Okay, so
I turn off sound. So I'm worried that that's.
Well, let's try it one more time. If you give me the feedback again, then I will just shut it off.
Yeah. Sorry, everyone.
Okay.
This is
yes. So Facebook can see your screen, and I'm going to make it a big one so that everybody can see better. Okay.
Perfect.
All right. Okay.
Let's see
for Instagram. Today, this is real. Okay.
I know.
This is what happens when you go live and when you try to do things, and sometimes technology doesn't cooperate. What do? You just
work it out
with it. Okay.
Yes.
You just roll with it. So have you requests for Instagram to come on?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, no, I have not seen your request coming in yet. No. So I did just now. Do it one more time, please.
Let's see. Request to join. Send request. Oh, technology. Love it.
Okay, here, got it.
Okay.
Let's see. Come on up.
This is going to work. I can feel it.
Yay! Okay.
Yay. Perfect. Okay. So thank you, everyone, for your patience. As if anyone joined, I'm Brooke. I'm with Timeline Genius, and I am going to tell you a little bit more about Timeline Genius today. So a little bit about me, and then we're going to jump right in because I have a lot to share with you. Name's Brooke. I have a bachelor's degree in hospitality. I am a certified wedding planner. I have 8 years in the industry. I'm a wife. Today is actually my 3-year wedding anniversary.
Wow, happy anniversary.
Thank you. Yeah, I woke up today and was like, oh, 3 years. Neat. I'm a dog mom, Enneagram 3. If you're into that, message me. I'm all about the Enneagram. And fun fact, I'm obsessed with coffee. I drink black coffee all day long and love it. So that's a little bit about me. But the point of today is for you all to learn a little bit more about Timeline Genius. So start with, what is Timeline Genius? Timeline Genius is a web-based software. It makes it easy for you all to create professional timelines for weddings and events. And it was designed for wedding and event planners to help eliminate stress, reduce the amount of tedious editing that you're doing, and ultimately save you hours of time during your creation process. So what I'm going to do today is actually jump right in and show you a lot of the tools, tips, and tricks of Timeline Genius. And I have a lot to share, so please ask questions to May because I'll probably talk a little bit fast. Here is our webpage. We are completely mobile friendly so that no matter what site you log in on or what app, or goodness, what device, laptop, iPhone, Android, any of those, no matter what you log in on, it will always look the same. And everything is saved in real time and in the cloud. So you're not going to lose anything anymore. And if you go and make a bunch of edits, they're updated right then and there. So I'm going to pop right in here and we are going to go straight to our dashboard. This is what your dashboard would look like. And you're going to see active timelines, archive timelines, and pre-active timelines. I'm going to pop into the Rolodex real quick. Rolodex is what we call our contact management system. So this is where you're going to save all of your clients, your venues, and your vendor information. So if we're going to enter in a client at any time, all you have to do is click Add Client. You fill in all of this information, even their social media handles, notes. I put things like, how do I know them? Where did I meet them? And you save the client. Then they're going to be here in your Rolodex. Venues, a little bit more information to add in there. So when I go into venues, you add in the venue name, their contact name, phone number, email, social media handles, which actually ends up being really helpful for styled shoots. And it comes up on every single timeline that you do. So you're going to be able to see this a year from now when you go to post, an Instagram photo or something. Then we have the website, of course, adding notes, and then the guidelines. So with guidelines, what you will do is you actually go in here and you can add anything from the contract for that venue. And the nice thing is this is going to pull on every timeline you do with the venue. So anytime you say we're doing an event at a Dream Come True event space, you are going to see this information pop up. So you can go in and add info like, what you can and can't do. You can add in parking instructions, whatever's going to help you best understand the venue and alleviate all these phone calls on the morning of from vendors going, hey, where do we load in? I'm at the front door. Now they know, load in at the back door and everyone will have this info. So this is a wonderful tool, and in a minute I'll show you how that ends up on every single timeline for this venue. Files, this for this is I put like a brochure, floor plan, blank floor plan. I go in, what else do I put in? Maybe a floor, like photos or something from a past event. And then relevant timelines. This is just where you can find any timeline that you've ever done at this venue. And then vendors, lastly, I'll go in here and show you an example very similar to our venues, except there's a role tab. And what you'd see here is you can go in and add what the role is for that vendor. And at any time, all of this information is searchable. So if I have a bride call and she's like, hey, I have every vendor but a cake baker, I can go, oh, let me just look up all my cake bakers. I type in cake, and right here I have a list of every cake baker I've ever worked with in the past. So that's an incredible tool that everything is searchable. And at any time, we can import your contacts for you, or you can export them to a CSV. So all you have to do is send your contacts to import@timelinegenius.com. And I can share more about that at the end, but it is a really great way to send us your contacts, get them in, you start building timelines instead of having to tediously enter in all your contacts.
I think the part that once you enter the venue and you enter the vendors that you have worked, and then you have the next event and you're using the same venue, same vendors,
Yeah.
all this information is already there. So we don't have to reproduce those information again. That's like brilliant. That
Yep.
itself saves me a lot of time.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I am working to fix some of this sound so that I don't have feedback. Are you guys hearing the feedback at all?
I can hear a little bit, but it's not more
Okay.
than mine.
Okay, cool. So then I'll continue on. So what I did today is I want to show you how we create timelines. There's 3 different ways. You can use a previous timeline, you can use a template, or you can use the Genius feature. For sake of time today, I'm going to show you only the Genius feature, but I have some wonderful tools I can always share with people about the other 2 options. Using a previous timeline, just to go through it quickly, that is, you can reuse any old timeline. You fill in the new information about that event, and then Timeline Genius will swap in the new couple's names, the new time, and produce a wonderful timeline for you. Use template. We've created same-sex templates. We've created bar and bat mitzvahs, social events, baby showers, all that good stuff. And when you go into your free trial, you can check this out. But today, I'm going to show you the magic, and that is the Genius feature. And this is where Timeline Genius started, and it is a way for you to enter in basic info about the event and get a perfectly detailed timeline for your event. So what I did is I actually started this process. When we go to generate a timeline, this is the page that's going to appear, and you're going to be asked a lot of basic information about the event. I filled it out already just so that you don't have to watch me go through it. But ultimately, you go in, you fill in your bride's name, the groom name, timeline name, the ceremony date, tradition, many different options here, the ceremony time, the duration, so 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, reception flow, are we doing the cake cutting first, then toast, then first dance? All of these are driver variables helping Timeline Genius understand how do we form the flow and the timing of this event. Is there a first look? Yes or no? Then you go to next.
Let me stop you for a minute. You said that there's already a preset template inside Timeline Genius.
Yes.
If I were to pick a wedding and then when I use the Genius new timeline, it will actually populate what the existing template inside timeline. So I don't even have to think what
Exactly.
to put on it, but I can always customize the template.
So you can customize the template by choosing a template, yes. So like for a different style of event. When using the Genius feature, this is going to be geared towards weddings. So you see how like it says ceremony, venue, reception. The Genius feature will be geared towards weddings when you utilize that, but you can use a template for another type of event for sure. Okay. I'm going to show you an example here though. So say I had just logged in and I need to add in my ceremony venue. If they're not in my Rolodex, I haven't added them at all. Let's say, let me do an example here. Okay, let's say I'm gonna add St. Stephen's Church. You can see the Rolodex appears for me. So I no longer have to go search for their contact information. If they're not in your account already, in your Rolodex, Timeline Genius is just going to pop up an add button here. You click on it, you fill in all of that contact info, and they end up in your Rolodex. So the main reason I filled this in already is just for sake of time today, because there's so much good stuff I want to show you. But the system's going to ask you all of your vendors, and you go in and you type in all of your vendors. Let's say we need to add transportation. I type in a transport company, and we're going to add this company right here. It's as easy as clicking a button. Stylish dues here. So when you add your hair and makeup, Timeline Genius is actually going to think through how to build a table for you that makes sure that none of the girls or guys are double booked, and that we start early enough and we end in time for the first look and for everything else throughout the day. Same with makeup. Another thing Timeline Genius does is it wants to know how long is your photographer booked for. So, you know, if they're there for 10 hours, but there's a first look and the ceremony's at 4:30, Timeline Genius is going to think through what time that photographer needs to arrive. So that's why we ask the timing. And you'll go through, and especially when you have a free trial, you'll play with this, enter in different venues, vendors, all that good stuff, and get a feel for how to utilize this. The next step, though, is to generate the timeline. So we have all of our information entered here. We have our venues, we have our travel times, and our vendors, and we just go through and make sure everything looks good. There is one other small step that I do want to show you, and that is at any time before you start the generating process, you could always send a client input email, and I'll show you what that means. So if I pull up this email for you, you click on client input here, you enter in the bride's name or her contact info, and then this email will be sent out. It says, "Hi Brooke, I'm inviting you to enter some basic information for your upcoming wedding." Your bride would click right here on the questionnaire, and this, well, I should go back to, this page here is what is going to appear. There will also be an extra section where they can enter in the wedding party's names and contact info. And I always like to remind people, don't just put bridesmaids and groomsmen, add family, readers, anyone that we might need to get a hold of on that day of the event. But with that, this allows your clients to fill in the information so that you don't have to ask them for it and then refill it in. They cannot see your Rolodex. However, your Rolodex does populate for them. So if they start typing in a specific vendor, that info will populate for them. If anyone needs me to go into depth on that at the end, please do not hesitate to ask. But two different ways. One, you fill it in. Two, you can send that form to your client to fill it in. They also can never generate a timeline.
We have a question that came in. Does the tool allow for more than one photographer to be added to the timeline?
So at this time, when you use the Genius feature, you can only add one photographer. However, I just clicked generate, so that's going to load for a second here. And you can go in and add extra timeline items, or it automatically assumes that the photographer will have an assistant. So that might answer the question and help them with that part. But you can always add in another option for a second photographer if needed. Let's see, does that help? May you think that helps?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So our timeline just got generated. And now what I'm going to show you is how we can edit this timeline and the tips and tricks that make your life so much easier. So this would be our timeline. And you can scroll through, check it out. You see here, we have our hair and makeup schedules. Mary is going in at 9:15 and then right in at 9:45. None of the girls are double booked. Timeline Genius thinks through things and details that you may not even think about, like who's setting up the food, when do stylish dudes, when do they arrive, what room do they need to go to? And we could scroll through and I could show you all this, but when you do that free trial, read through it, get a feel for it. Timeline Genius adds so much good detail when it comes to first looks and arrival times. What I want to jump to right now, though, is showing you some of these small hacks that I like to use. So in the past, if a bride called me and said, hey, we have to move everything by 1 hour, I would be like, oh gosh, Google Docs and me are going to be hanging out tonight because that's going to take me a long time. Now with Timeline Genius, all you have to do is you come in here and you say everything for that event day, on Saturday, everything needs to be moved by 1 hour. We go in and you can do a bulk edit. So all of these boxes are now checked. We go to bulk edit, time shift, and we go, let's say we're going to go forward 1 hour. So you can go forwards or backwards. We're going to go forwards 1 hour. And then you hit apply. And all of a sudden, if you watch the screen here, you are going to see that in a matter of, well, there we go. There, my Wi-Fi didn't like me there. In a matter of seconds, 67 items on our timeline just shifted by 1 hour. So now we're starting at 10 a.m.
That's a lifesaver. This is where I spend the most time editing the time rehearsal, just because somebody is late.
Yes.
Or somebody decided that, no, you can't get into the room at this time, so I have to shift everybody. So
Exactly. So also you may need to do it just for the morning. If you hit that top button and hit your shift key and then hit the bottom button here, only these items are selected and we can go in and say, we want to start earlier. We can shift that back by 1 hour and then the morning move. So you have a lot of flexibility with this. You can also do bulk deleting. So there we go. We've moved back to 9 a.m. So let's say we are not going to have anything on Friday. We're just not doing anything on Friday. You go to bulk edits and you can delete all of those items right at once. So the bulk editing, bulk canceling, time shifts, all of that, huge time saver. And not only that, it's just more efficient for you to be able to go in and manually do that all together than to have to drag and drop everything one by one, which is an option. You can click on the time and make time changes as well. You can also make things TBD. You can keep them in line or move them to the top. Maybe you want all your TBDs up at the top. And so you can definitely do that as well. If you want to edit a timeline item, you have a lot of editing options here. You just click right on it and you can say, Janet, all bridesmaids and mothers meet up in suite 202. And maybe we're like, this is super important. And so I am going to bold that and I want to highlight it yellow. So this is a really good opportunity for you all to see, I made a typo, for you all to see though that you can go in and customize your timelines however you would like. You can go in and make edits, highlight things, whatever you would like to make it look and sound more like your company. So I'm going to scroll down because I want to show you the other sections. While this is a timeline, of course, it also becomes a timeline manifest in terms of there are other sections and things that you can add. We have the items to remember section. You can go in and edit this. You can delete items. You can add items, whatever you would like. This information, it populates from the tradition that you chose and from other info that you provided to where now Timeline Genius knows kind of what you might need. Because at a Catholic wedding, you may not need what you need at a Jewish wedding or a non-traditional. So different options, but you can go in and add whatever you'd like to this list. Here's one of my favorite, I said it before and I'll say it again and again, my favorite feature is the venue guidelines. This populates on every single timeline you do. Venue contacts, very neat and organized. You can see the social media handles here. Vendor contacts, all right there for us. Wedding party contacts, so you can go in and add additional wedding parties, members, anything that you need to do to get them in here. And then lastly, we have the files section. So you can add files if you would like. I personally like to go in and add like photos or a floor plan, but I'm a visual person. I don't know about you all. I imagine there's a few of you that are visual people out there too. And I'll show you what I like to do. So I actually go right back up to the top. I go to the add section. So add, and then I go to text section, and I rename this section floor plan, and then I drop it in so that the floor plan is actually visible on our timeline. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to delete that text, I'm going to go to the insert image icon, choose my file, I'm going to choose my floor plan, and then you will see here how the floor plan now shows up right on that timeline. So as I'm scrolling through, I actually see the timeline in that manifest as opposed to having to download it down in my files. Other things that are good in files, readings, any documents, seating arrangements, anything you might need throughout the day. Next section, this is, I'll say this a lot, but this is actually one of my very favorite features. It is called the tailored timelines. So if I come over here, Timeline Genius is so smart that it's thinking through tailored timelines for you and your vendors. So if I were to click on our DJ, and DJs love this, DJs think this is the coolest thing ever. We're of course going to give our DJ a full timeline, but we also are going to provide that DJ with a tailored timeline specific to the events that are very important to that vendor. So you can see here, 5 p.m., DJ Brian Jones arrives, all that good stuff. So this tailored timeline and a full timeline would then be sent out to our DJ. And you might be wondering, do I have to do anything for that? No, unless you want to make edits, you can in the Assign tab here. You can go in and remove people from these different sections. The Assign tab is what creates their tailored timeline. So if they're tagged in the item, it will populate on their tailored timeline. So if maybe you don't want, the makeup artist to be tagged in this, you could delete them. You can also click on, the venue name and add them to something if you would like at any time. That's the Assign feature. You don't have to do this all that often though, because Timeline Genius actually thinks through all of this for you. It knows that if Captive Shots is arriving, they're arriving where the girls are getting ready, the wedding party needs to be there, and the photographer needs to be there as well. Tailored timelines are one of those things that vendors turn around and they're like, I want to work on every event with you because you make me so much more organized, so much more prepared, and they just love them. And I didn't have to lift many fingers to do that at all. So next section is the collaborate, and I'm going to breeze through this real quick, but collaborate, this is how you're going to communicate with your vendor or vendors and clients. So gone are the days of like back and forth bullet point emails. No more. We don't have time for that. Now what you do, you have your timeline here. We're right over here. We're going to collaborate with our bride today. It says we're collaborating with her. When we go to send her this timeline, we have a choice on what she sees. Are the items viewable to her? Are the items hidden or editable? And you do it by item. So if I wanted to hide something from our bride, let's say breakfast is a secret, I can hide it and a slash will go through that eye. Or if I want it to be editable, something editable for her, I'm going to scroll to the bottom, bear with me. We can go here and say maybe the wedding party contacts, we want that to be editable because the bride should be able to go in at any time and add that information. How do we collaborate is probably what you're wondering. You are going to click right over here on this gear icon. So now we've got our timeline and the viewable button. That means that the bride's going to be able to see this information, but she cannot edit this information. So I go to the gear icon and I'm going to find our bride. You invite your vendors and clients when you are ready, and you can do it individually. You go to the 3 dots here. You can send an invite directly through Timeline Genius, and it's a very similar email that goes out. It looks like this. It says, hey, to your vendor, this is an invitation to access the timeline and the timeline title. You can go directly there by clicking this. They can also activate an account if they wanted one, but it does not cost them anything. So they click this link here, and I'm going to show you exactly what pops up. If you are someone who uses another platform, Honeybook, Aisle Planner, anything, you can also copy the link, and then all you have to do is embed it into an email that you already send out, or send it over to them in email or text, and this is what's going to appear. This is our collaboration pop-up that, let's see, there we go, that comes up. Your bride reads this. Welcome to our collaborator panel. This is how they would utilize the platform. They can leave comments. If they see the pencil, they know they can make edits. There's a help option. They read through this and learn a little bit more. But this is how clean the system looks. When your clients log in or get that link, they don't see Timeline Genius. They see your logo. They see the name of their event, and they go through and they hit the drop down and they can make comments. So Janet, I'm the bride right now. I could say, can we start at 8 a.m.? Maybe she wants to start early. All she has to do is post it. You're going to get an email. So I'm going to go back to our timeline here. You're going to get an email that says, hey, Janet has made a comment on a timeline. So you're going to go up, you're going to see your notification bell. You've got 2 notifications. We click right on this one.
While we wait for it to load, a question came in. It says that, can we customize the look of Timeline Genius for our own branding and logo? The answer is yes, right?
Yep.
And I think another question was, can my vendor update the timeline on their end?
Yep. So if you give them access rights to make edits, yes. And if you give them the ability to or if you just want them to make comments like this, yes. So what I'm going to show you here right now is how that comment comes through for me. So I click right on the comment that she made, and she could go through and make like 20 comments. I click on one, and Timeline Genius is going to take me right to that. This could also be what your vendors are doing, because you do this with your clients, your vendors, and the venues. So that if you don't want them to be able to actually change and rewrite your timeline, give them only the viewable rights, like you see with the eye. They make comments, and then I read this and I say, can we start at 8 a.m.? And I can respond and say, yes, totally, that's great. I post it. She would get a message that says that I responded, so she can log in and access it. But I can go right here instead of having to leave the platform or go back to the edit page. And all I have to do is update my time. I save it, and it's updated in real time for anybody that has a link. Anybody that logs in from here on out will see that this is going to be at 8 a.m. So your vendors also would be getting these links and can make comments. Everything is separated though, and we do that because we don't want one of your vendors to like answer for you and everybody be on one thread. So when you communicate through the collaboration feature, you are communicating directly with whichever vendor you have sent that link to. Lastly, in terms of our tabs, this is one of our mind-blowing features that people just love. I love it. I use it all the time. It's called the Remind feature. And what you do, you can actually send text reminders throughout the day to your clients, vendors, and venues that alert them of things that are happening. All you have to do, let's say I want the bridesmaids, Janet, and the mothers to all get a text 30 minutes before they need to arrive for hair and makeup. I hit the box here. I set 30 minutes as my timer. I click on Janet. If I had wedding party and like mothers entered here, I would put them in. But I don't have any entered into this one. So I'm going to set the reminder so that Janet now is going to get a 30-minute text message or 30-minute reminder 30 minutes before this needs to happen. And to give you an example of what this looks like, because as I say it, you might be like, well, what does it look like? How is my client going to see that? I hope you all can see that right here. This is what the text looks like. Timeline activity reminder, the name of the event, the time that it's happening, and what it is. So if it was this, it would say Janet, all bridesmaids, mothers meet up. When they click on this link, if they choose to, this is what appears. And it's a web browser, and it says the time, or the name, the time, who it is, what's happening, where it's happening, and they can actually click and view the timeline. Bridesmaids love this. They think I'm like I don't know, I'm just a fairy godmother some mornings. They're looking at me like, how did you know to text me? Because I had no idea where I was going, even though the bride told me where to be. I'm like, that's why you hire professionals. So text reminders have become really, really popular, and it's just kind of the way that the industry's moving is we're all able to navigate with each other through these different ways. So very, very popular feature. I love it. I use it all the time. When you go to your free trial, make a fake timeline, send yourself text, see how that works for you. And you can do it for vendors that are notoriously late. You can do it for yourself, your staff, anybody you'd like. So those are the three big sections. Before we go to questions, because I know I'm running low on time here, timeline actions, when you click there, this is where at any time you can preview a timeline. Get rid of some of these so that I run.
So just a quick question.
Yes.
If there is a change of something on the timeline of the day itself, and I update it inside Timeline Genius,
yes.
All right, does it automatically send out a text message to all parties involved?
It does not right now. It will update your time. So if you made a change and then like later on, there was a text reminder that was supposed to go out 15 minutes before 6 p.m., it will still go 15 minutes before whatever time you changed it to. So if you moved it to 6:15, it's now going to go out at 6. It does not send an all-out blast to everybody that an update's been made, but you can have that as an option. You can update the time, the reminders that are already set. Like, let me go back on that. You can, when you update the text reminders, they update with you, but you don't get any type of blast if you make a change. That makes sense. Went in circles on there.
Okay, so your screen just loaded, so you can share now.
Yes. Let's see.
While this is loading, a question come in. Is Timeline Genius a monthly subscription?
Yeah.
Fee to maintain?
Yep. So, did they say it's a month? Is it a monthly?
Yes. Is it a monthly subscription fee to maintain, or is it you pay one time?
Yep. So we have both. We have an annual and a monthly. And I'm about to show you that in 1 second. I will go through all of that literally here in 2 seconds. I just want to show you this is what a timeline looks like. And there are different functions when you go in your preferences that you can edit it to have different fonts. You can have different the different lines. You can have these different tags on or off. Lots of different options. And all you have to do is go up into your preferences here and you can change all of that. With timeline actions, you can download or email out your timelines at any time as well. So back to that question though, because I just wanted to make sure I wrapped up with that. There is a few different options when it comes to how our subscriptions work. We have an annual price where you pay one time annually. And for being a member of Events for Anyone, you also are eligible for a discount, so you get $100 off. Typically, our price is $449.95 for the annual. Now, for you all as members, it was only $349. You also lock in that rate for the life of your company. And I talked about this earlier, but we'll import your contacts for you. And lastly, we have a bonus where you can get free enrollment into our Wedding Day Timeline certification. There is a monthly option. It's $44.95. It is a great option. You all are going to know what's best for your company. So monthly or the annual. The nice thing about the annual is over the course of the year, you end up spending less money, but they're both unlimited. So at any time while you're working in there with the unlimited options, you can make as many timelines as you want. You can make as many templates as you want, and have a little bit more freedom to just utilize the platform however you would like. So 2 options, annual or monthly. We also have a 5-pack option. It is $164, I believe. But if you do more than 4 or 5 events a year, go unlimited, go monthly or annual, just because you will end up, I've seen people spend more money trying to buy 5 packs when ultimately they're doing 20 events a year, and unlimited's the way to go.
Okay.
Yep. This is, I briefly touch on this. This is the Wedding Day Timeline certification course. I am happy to drop this link into the chat. I can help May with that or send it over to her. But that is something that we're giving as a free bonus for anyone that signs up this month. And then lastly, this is where you go to sign up. So I know that I went through all of that really quickly today. There is so much good stuff to utilize in Timeline Genius. So you can log into timelinegenius.com to sign up for a 14-day free trial. I am here to help you. My email is brooke@timelinegenius.com. Alex, I know she's out there somewhere. Alex is our incredible customer success manager. She's alex@timelinegenius.com, and she can help you as well. But if you decide to sign up, you click this link, and that And Events for Anyone pricing will already be in there for the annual subscription. Or log into Timeline Genius, get your free trial, get to play around, ask us questions, and we can help you from there.
Okay. So, personally, there's a few things that I love about your program, about your software. Number one is you can have a few people collaborating to do the timeline with you. So you don't have to do everything yourself. And there's already a template created with the standard things that you actually will always use for timeline depending on which event. So I don't have to think what I need to do. There's already a prompt there. So that one is a great feature. Number two is if one thing change, you just have to make that one change and it all change automatically on timeline.
I love that.
The text message. Oh my God, that one is a lifesaver. Because sometimes you have to go corral people. Where are my peeps? So, on the day of the event, you don't have time for that. The text message is a good reminder. Right. So that thing is so good. And the Rolodex that once you put into the Rolodex, next time when you have another event and you use the same vendors or the venue, the info is already there. So you don't have to keep inputting the same event. Exactly. I mean, when I think about how I used to do my timeline, I'll be like, oh my God, somebody is taking whatever I've been doing in my head and make a software. Yeah,
you're exactly right. The amount of times that I never realized how much I actually utilize my contacts as well. Let's see, can you guys hear me still? Yeah. I never realized how much I actually utilize my contacts and how many times I was going and like copying it off their website over and over and over again. And I'm using that same vendor all the time. One other little thing that I didn't touch on is that if you have a team, so if you have more people on your team, you only have to sign up for one account and they're all on your team with you. We just add them in your preferences to your account and then they can start timelines with you. But when you're collaborating, when you're doing other things, it looks like it's from that person instead of, one default or owner having to own the account. You can have your other team members on there with you.
Okay, a question that comes in and we have to wrap this up. Say the $44.95 monthly fee is the standard fee and it's not a discounted fee?
Not the monthly. The monthly doesn't have any discounts associated with it, but the annual does.
Okay, so if you use our link, Events for Anyone, you get the discount. So you don't pay over $400. You pay $349 for the annual fee. That's where you get the discount using my link. If you
it locks in.
Yeah, and it locks in. So the month by month, you do not have the discount applicable, correct? Yeah. And the wedding day certification, is it available if they enroll by the end of May?
It's yes. So if they sign up by the end of May, yes, then that's still an offer that we're offering.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. So we have this link. We have this presentation recorded and it's inside the Facebook group. And your interview here with me is going to go into IGTV. And we also have posting out on the link for people to purchase. But please do reach out, sign up, and do a free trial. Because it really, from an event planner, a six-figure event planner here, telling you that it is a lifesaver. Okay, lifesaver, because of the time that you save by using Timeline Genius.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time today.
Yes, I know that I went quick and I had a lot to say, but I am here and available all week. I'm always available, but please reach out to me if anyone needs anything, has questions. I am happy to help you onboard quickly to get you transitioned over as soon as possible.
All right, fantastic. Bye-bye Google Sheet. Bye-bye Microsoft Word.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, like that's my life, is seeing away with all the things that made me do things manually or took up my time. I have personal and professional things I need to get done, and moving times around is not one of them anymore.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much, Brooke. Have a great Wednesday. Enjoy your anniversary. I'm not going to hold you up any longer. Have fun. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.